Welcome to the making of Green. Episode 1 Authority Figurine. Green was a project that I began through this need to create my own movie. After spending some time on set as a grip, I really wanted to give it my best shot at creating my own film from start to finish so that I could kind of explore the ins and outs of film creation from beginning to end. It's exploring some themes that were important to me, especially at the time of creation. And that is these themes of altruism and individualism when talking about human behavior, especially in respects to the societies that we find ourselves living in. So, on the technical side of things, I did probably 99% of the work myself, including saving up the money to create this production. For all its flaws, Green was my first attempt at creating a film, and I wanted to go through all of the processes involved to really grasp the film's creation in its entirety. So I wrote it, I shot it, I built the set, did almost all the voice acting. Shout out to Jamie, who did the voice of Bobble. I did the editing, the post production, just every major component of this film. Because of that, you can see some areas that need improvement, but just think of how awesome episode 2 is going to be. This episode was shot on one set that was built in my apartment, moved to a friend's basement, which was a little bit larger than my apartment. Finally, moved it to my parents' attic because that friend moved out of his house. So the whole set and workshop had to be transported 3 times over the course of about I think the entire production took 8 months. That's a pretty good ballpark for what it was, from writing to finished product. So what you're looking at here is the setup for the first establishing shot, which is probably the hardest shot of the entire film. At this point, I still hadn't decided whether or not to add the fog of the battlefield in post-production or use the actual fog machine. The actual fog was the final decision, but that had like terrible consequences later when using the blue screen puppeteering technique of later shots. You can also see that I've been seriously neglecting getting a haircut, or I think even just leaving the house in general to try and focus all my energy on this project. I mean, I went to Home Depot about 300 times, but other than that, didn't really leave this basement very often. I wonder if that's why the relationship I was in at the time didn't last. So the explosions are created with pneumatic pistons that I built with PVC pipe and solenoid valves that have to be reloaded each take, both with the air and the cocoa powder. That provided the plume that the explosions are made out of. These pistons have been placed in little holes that I drilled right through the set and wired to a switch box that I'm operating in one hand while operating the camera in the other. So needless to say, trying to get this shot organized by myself was ridiculous. The right consistency of fog, the right amount of powder, and the pistons leaked a little bit, so you only had like so much time before they wouldn't explode powerfully enough to create the scene. Additionally, overfilling them would cause the solenoid to break, which would send me into having to troubleshoot the problems for each broken piston because I didn't know what the hell was going on at the time. And then I'd have to return to Home Depot and buy new ones. I'm actually screaming at myself while I re-watch this, to go get some goddamn help. But I guess I'm stubborn. So my advice to anyone wanting to attempt something like this is don't. The ability to say that you made a film all by yourself is not worth the extra hassle of not seeking help. I think my opinion at the time was people are a pain in the ass to work with, and I didn't really know what I was doing, so I wasn't in a good position to lead. Plus, scheduling with people in film is very difficult. But anyway, if you're gonna move a mountain, get some fucking friends because every stone moved by yourself is a huge pain in the ass. And then here I am at the end of the day using the air compressor to clean all that cocoa powder off the camera, the keyboard, the mouse, everything. One good thing about having this giant set and the computer right there was the ability to edit sequentially, which helps a first time editor. Anyway, see you in the next episode.